Hello and welcome to Victoriana, and it's the beginning of June. It's been quite a few months since we've done a clip, and the reason it's been quite a few months is because of this. We have been flat out busy packing and packing and packing and trying to keep up with production at the same time, and basically we've had no time to do anything other than work. So that's why it's been a long time since we've had a clip, but now we've got a few minutes and I'm going to give you a very quick run around the nursery. So I think in our last clip, when I was in here, we were just potting up and just filling this up with grapes. Well, they've moved on now and they're actually now ready for dispatch. They've rooted out and growing away nicely, and the veg tunnel is back to being veg. I've got a couple of 3 rows of chilies in here, and all the tomatoes are in here, and looks like we're getting up to our first trusses, and it won't be long until we've got some fruit. So here in what was the orchard is half an orchard. We're having quite a major move round. Not going to get as much done as we wanted. Earlier in the year, when we were planting fruit trees, we actually took out a couple of rows of the more mature trees in the orchard, with the purpose of then being able to make the area bigger and take some of the top ground, so that we can actually have a bigger area for our chili festival. And similarly, way over there, Simon is doing the same thing. We're just filling in an area that sits very wet with some chalk from a hole we had, and then we'll bind that over with topsoil. So all in all, we should have by the autumn a much bigger area for our chili festival, and a bigger area for getting on with some other stuff later on. So yeah, as I say, we took out a couple of rows of the fruit trees. We put them in very tight in a sort of temporary row. They'll stay there till the autumn, till we've worked out the full plan. And yeah, as I say, it's been a long time since we've had a clip, and since then we've done an awful lot up here as well. Obviously we've planted quite a lot of fruit trees, so these are for autumn sales. We'll be lifting them in October, November. Hopefully we'll get round to a clip before then. But they're all in and quite happy. Obviously the cold and wet we've had has made it an easy one for us on that side. Not much watering up here at all. But yeah, so cracked on and got a lot done. So up here in the top house, we're pretty rammed actually. Got lots and lots of herbs underway. Sold an amazing amount this year, and have struggled to keep up with quite a few varieties as well. So it's just a case of producing them over in the bubble, potting them up, then they come in here, root through, trimming down, and then getting them out the door. But yeah, it has just been a rush on them. Over on the other side, finally got a little bit of space, or we did have some space. Now filled that up with the rest of the chilies, just about there on the chili potting. And so these are sort of the overflow from the tunnel. And down this end, not caged over yet, or should I say not tented over yet, the all important chilies for seed saving. So just got to finish potting those up, then get the tents on, and they can spend the rest of the year all on their own, or next to each other but on their own, so that we can produce seed. And again this year we're doing just over 40 varieties, just under 40 varieties, something like that, of seed again. So yeah, all going here really. So up here in what was the vineyard, and of course we took everything out in the winter because of various problems, rabbit damage being the main one. We've started again, and we've got half a vineyard again. So we've only got another few rows to do. Obviously it's not a proper big vineyard, but actually it's, in the small area it's probably got more varieties than any other vineyard. I think we're going to end up with something like 50 varieties in this little area. So as I say, not one for making wine, or certainly not making lots of the one wine, but certainly one where we have lots and lots of different varieties of grape on display, and hopefully this time we won't have the problems that we had before. So yeah, end of this week, hopefully we can get the rest of this planted up. Out here on the veg garden, I don't mind admitting this year has been more than a struggle. Combination of things really. Terrible weather has meant that obviously lots and lots of things are behind and been very slow. And then from our point of view, we've just been too damn busy to actually get out here. But we're doing okay now. We're trying to get about a day a week out here. Claire is trying to get on, and with Dan as well. But Dan seems to spend a lot of his time mowing because the grass just doesn't stop growing everywhere. So yeah, we're doing okay. The asparagus is cropping well. Sweet corn is in now. Lots and lots of other crops are in. Brassicas are doing well right over there. Had our first picking of peas. Spinach is doing okay. All in all, considering the weather and as I say time, things don't look too bad. But as I've said before, in a late year, nature will catch up. Everything will sort itself out, and we'll have plenty to eat in the not too distant future. So here in the bubble, it's a tale of two halves. The fuchsias we've hit pretty hard in the last few weeks on dispatches. We thought we'd grown an awful lot, but we simply haven't grown enough. I think my mum would be well pleased with what we sold this year. Many varieties we now had to put on back order till next year because we just haven't got the material and haven't been able to keep up. And then over on the other side of the house, we've now taken half the house for production and to keep up because we just need the space. And again, we're pushing through veg crops and pushing through young perennials and bits and pieces. One day it's full up, the next day the stuff's outside, the next day it's gone. It's a pretty busy time all round really. Here in the veg cage and cell area, as in cell plant area, we're struggling to keep ourselves tidy and keep production going. So in honesty, the tidiness bit has slipped a little bit at the moment. Not a lot we can do about it, but it's good that we're keeping up on the production side. And as I say, the veg comes from wherever it comes from, in the bubble or greenhouse, comes out here, hardened off, and then it's off out to customers. And it is really moving very quickly at this moment. It's beyond belief how much we're getting out the door each and every day. Here in the prop, we're still propagating away like Billy-O. Lots and lots of herbs going through the system. Lots and lots of our lawn plants like our heath pearlwort and our chamomile and thyme lawn. They're very popular this year. Under here, we've under the shade, we've got geraniums and fuchsias. We're producing them as best we can. Recent hot weather hasn't helped there. And again, it's one of those things we're really struggling to keep up with this year. And of course we're still cracking on with veg, so yeah, continues to be full up and busy in here. So as I said when I was in the veg tunnel last time we were doing a clip, we were potting up grapes and just protecting them to get them into growth, and similarly I think we did a little bit out here. We'd just finished potting up this fruit, so it was all sitting here like bare sticks. Well, a few months on, as you can see, it's grown away beautifully, grown away a bit too beautifully, some of the bits and pieces, and we're actually now just starting dispatches. This is our first week. We've got our first lists of back orders of fruit trees and soft fruits and grapevines, and they're all on their way out the door. And as I say, similarly with the grapes that were just sticks and all inside just to protect them as they were rooting out, they're growing away nicely as well. So yeah, weather hasn't been all bad. It's just slowed quite a few things down, but we are getting there. So I'll finish off down here in the flower garden, which, a little bit like other bits of the nursery, is a bit untidy and suffering from lack of time. We have just about got the dahlias in, had a weed through finally, and are starting to get some more perennials and bits and pieces in. But it's had to take second place, of course. Most important thing is to keep our customers happy and get the orders out and keep growing plants. So as I say, yeah, it's a little bit more untidy than we'd like. One thing we have done though is we have replaced Bert. Anyone who's been to the nursery knows that Bert the Scarecrow used to point the way in. Well, unfortunately he had his arm snapped off by a lorry or two, and a bit of his hat as well, and all in all was getting a bit tired and a bit tatty, so we've replaced Bert, and here's Bert. Same place sort of thing, and welcoming you in. So as I say, that's it for June, and we will catch up just as soon as we can.